Black people don't go on mystery getaways. That was pretty much the response I received when I told someone that I would be going on a mystery getaway outside of the country. I was like, well, the whole group is Black, and even our travel advisor is Black. So clearly, Black people do travel and they do go on mystery getaways because we did it. And I understand that some people can be concerned. I was concerned, if I'm being honest, and I was nervous because the unknown is something that is scary. But something that I've noticed about myself over the past few years is that I am willing to take risks. I am willing to dive into the unknown. Of course, I want to make sure that I'm being careful, but you can't know about everything. And something about me that you may not know is that I don't like surprises. I'm not one that will have a surprise birthday because I just want to make sure that everything goes the way that I want it to go. And it's not that I don't trust people to throw me a surprise birthday gathering or surprise me with something. It's just I like to be prepared for things as much as possible. I'm a plan A person and I love knowing the details. Of course, I'm up for a little spontaneity, but for the most part, I do like to know what's going on. And even when I do give gifts for people, often I will ask them, what do they want? Because I don't want to go and guess and try to get something and then it just sits on their table for months and they never use it. Like that is something that gives me a little bit of anxiety. Sometimes I ask my friends after I've given them a gift, I'm like, do you like it? Or let me know if you like it. That's something that I usually say. And yeah, sometimes I get an answer, sometimes I don't, but I've learned more to let it go. So I'm going to go into how I was able to go on a mystery getaway, what information I received before that, and how I prepared mentally.
You're listening to the Warrior Rulebook podcast with me, Monique Harmon. I love helping people express themselves, protect their peace, and be confident in being them. You may also know me as Pretty Nikki, who started her online journey as a modest fashion blogger. Now I'm an entrepreneur. You'll see through my experiences and the experiences of others that change is possible, improvement is tasty, and meaningful connection is transformational. Come on, share your story with me.
So, one of the biggest questions I received when I asked you guys, what did you want to know about my mystery getaway? And if you even wanted to hear about my experience with the mystery getaway, and something that people asked was, how did you know how to pack? And so, my travel advisor from Notiq Agency, special shout out to them, they gave us a list of what we should pack. And so I'm going to read what was suggested that we bring. So the first thing was a swimming suit, swimming shorts for men, sunglasses, wide brimmed hat. And I also want to mention that that was a slash. It was or swimming shorts for men. I didn't have to bring a pair of swimming shorts for men, but if you're a man, that's what you would have brung. Comfortable walking shoes, a scarf or shawl, a light jacket for the evenings because it may be a bit chilly, sunscreen, and comfortable sundresses. Also, my travel advisor emphasized comfortable walking shoes. So I knew to carry a pair of sneakers because I have even been on staycations before where I'm trying to walk somewhere cute wearing flats. Yeah, my feet will start hurting. So I knew that I needed to carry sneakers and I started to wear more sneakers as of late because I love being comfortable when I'm going on excursions locally. So I knew definitely in a new destination that I didn't know of yet, I wanted to make sure that I was comfortable. And it turned out well, the clothing choices that I chose. So that was really nice. Also, we were told about the weather and how that was going to be. That was going to be in the 70s. So that was pretty good. And if you paid attention to my last episode, which was episode 37, then you would know that I also was given the clue that we were going to be going somewhere with a lot of ancient history and landscapes. So if you want to listen to what I did in Egypt, then just go back to episode 37 if you haven't listened to it already. So that was the main clue that a lot of people were asking about. And also, we were given luggage requirements so that way we wouldn't carry too much or have to leave anything behind. I was determined not to do that. So I packed as lightly as I could, but it's kind of hard when you're packing for 7 days. It's kind of hard to pack light, but I just really tried to put what was essential in my suitcase. I didn't carry that many pairs of shoes. I just pretty much did two pairs. I want to say like a nice pair of flats and sneakers and my sandals that I was going to wear inside of the hotels. So I didn't carry that many things. Also, I just had my fanny pack. I didn't carry a big purse. And I just made sure to follow up with my travel advisor to be like, hey, like, should I bring this or how should I pack? And she gave me some tips. She still packed better than I did. So hopefully, the more I travel, I'll get into being comfortable just carrying a carry on and it being big enough to house everything that I need to go on traveling. Because I've actually had some weird experiences with traveling before, with trying to pack really lightly. One time I tried to carry a really small suitcase and I had extra things like in plastic bags. And I was like, this is not the look. I saw my friends and they just had regular suitcases and they looked comfortable. Like I looked like I was like scrambling, trying to like carry as little as possible. And it was a mess. I was like, I'm just gonna carry a suitcase next time and we're gonna make it work. So just be practical when you are packing so you make sure that you don't overpack, just like you would with any other trip. Also, we received a itinerary. So, of course, the activities weren't on the itinerary in detail, but I did know at least I would be going on a couple of city tours. And also, it would say mystery destination one, mystery destination two. So I didn't know what cities I was going to because, of course, I didn't even know what country I was going to. It also told us what travel documents that were required. So we were prepared for that. We were adequately prepared. It wasn't like we're just thrown in it and we figure it out on our way. We were notified of the things that we absolutely needed so that it could make our trip smooth. So I definitely appreciate that as well. Also, we were told what meals were included, what meals weren't included, and that we would be able to enjoy our day at our leisure. So I really appreciated seeing that in the itinerary because I didn't feel like I was going to be rushed anywhere, or I didn't feel like we were always going to have to be actively doing something all the time, every second of our trip. So I was really appreciative of that. So that was pretty much what was on the itinerary. Also, we were notified when we had to pay for our flight as well. And for people that were asking, I paid around 1,400 for an international flight over to Egypt and other fees that we also incurred before the trip, such as a visa. Something that was also helpful was having a pre-departure meeting so we could ask our travel advisor any questions that we had. And so that was really cool. And throughout the entire process, I was able to ask questions. So anything that I needed, it wasn't a question limit, but it was really hard for me to even come up with questions because it's like, where are we going? That was a really blaring question that I really wanted to know. But I didn't find out until the day that we went over. So even in the midst of the clues that we did receive, there was no way that I would have guessed that it was Egypt. And so it was weird because pretty much after March of this year, I was like, okay, I don't know where we're going, so I'm just gonna let it go. I didn't want to guess, I didn't want to stress myself out. But then when I got closer to the trip, my friend from college and high school, and also my dad, they started guessing. And so it kind of like put me in the space where I wanted to guess as well. So they both guessed Dubai. As we got closer to the trip, that's when I started guessing because I was getting excited. I saw someone else guess. I think it was my roommate for the trip. I think I saw her guess maybe or her ask like where we were going. So I started guessing and I guessed the Maldives, Morocco, or Tanzania, or Punta Cana, or Aruba. And I even said Australia because my travel advisor was like, you're going to another continent, not in North America, Mexico, or Caribbean. And so that's when I said Australia. And she just sent me all these red X's. It was so funny. And I was like, I give up. So I was just like, well, I feel defeated. There was no way. I'm not really good at guessing things anyway. So I think that was one of the most mind-boggling things is like just trying to guess where I was going and I just gave up. I'm like, just tell me. That's why I'm like that type of person. Just tell me. Just tell me I'm okay. I will be just as excited. That's what I truly feel like. I feel like I would be just as excited if I know things than being surprised by them. Like, I think it's thoughtful when somebody surprises you with something that they know that you like and they know that you enjoy. But I also appreciate like knowing. So that was something that was definitely put to the test. Like, I had to be patient and wait until the actual day that we were traveling to learn where we were going. And so we learned before we left the Atlanta airport, before we traveled, we knew that we were going over to Egypt. So it's not like you're being blindfolded this entire time until you get to the destination. It's like, oh, here you are. That I think that would have been hard for me to stomach. I don't even think I would have gone because I would like to know before I leave US soil where we're going, you know? So, another thing, how did I prepare mentally? And that is something that is important to talk about as well because your mind can play tricks on you. Your mind can say negative things to you and just give you a negative feeling overall. And so, even when I couldn't guess what the country was, I went online and read reviews. So, something important to note here is that I did not just go on Google and be like, mystery getaway. How do I go on one? That's not my story. That's not what I did. I worked with Notiq Agency in the past when the pandemic was first starting, and I worked on their social media as well as their email marketing. And so we have already developed a relationship, a working relationship, and it was an enjoyable experience. I learned a lot about the travel industry and what was important for people to do group travel because they specialize in group travel experiences. And so it was really nice, like just to be able to talk about that on social media and what they do, and then actually be part of it by going on the mystery getaway. Make sure that you know the person that is taking you on the mystery getaway. I would suggest just that's just me. I wouldn't suggest going on Google and being like, let me just pick this company and I'll just go on a mystery getaway. You do want to be safe. So, reading the reviews also helped me just be able to be at ease and remind me that Notiq Agency knows what they're doing because so many people are happy with their experiences. I saw these people online. And I do remember before when we were working on this presentation for people that are traveling, it was like some sort of webinar. I remember actually talking to one of their clients. And so I know that these people are real. So definitely fly with somebody that you trust or have some sort of working relationship with. I think that is your best bet to be able to at least be relieved a little bit to go on a mystery getaway. I also talked to my friends about it, and I do remember in particular, I talked to my roommate from college. And I also want to mention here too, I'm not in college anymore because sometimes I feel like when I talk about college, like people be like, "Oh, yeah, you're still in college." I'm like, "No, I'm not." So I wanted to mention that. But my friend from college and roommate, she was talking to me. We called each other and we talked about it. And she was the one that guessed Dubai. And so she was like, "You need to take your dress." And she's talking about the Indian green dress that I purchased a few years ago. It's very beautiful, nice and flowy, wonderful. And she said, "You might go to Dubai, so just take it." I had reservations at first because I was like, I don't want to just like stuff this suitcase with things that I don't need. But I ended up listening to her at the end, and I do not regret listening to her because Egypt was just as nice, and the dress fit right in with the pyramids and that aesthetic. So I'm so thankful that she told me to take it. And so she stayed on the phone with me. I remember being tired. I think this was either the night before I had to leave, somewhere around there, because knowing me, I do pack late. I'm still working on that, like where I need to pack in advance, because I'm about to go on another trip at the time of this recording, Lord willing. And I'm like, I need to pack now because I don't want to wait until the day before. The day before packing is so stressful to me. And I feel like that's also because that's around the time that I like to wash my hair and stuff. And just thinking about it stresses me out. So I definitely need to do it in advance. But I'm already like thinking about my outfits and stuff. But back to her, she actually told me to roll up my outfits. And so I would try to roll my clothes. And then she would tell me when I didn't do it right. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I just want to go to sleep. And she stayed on the phone with me and until I got it right. And she was like, yes, just like that. And like, so I had to do my entire suitcase with her on the phone. And that was really helpful though. So I definitely do appreciate that. But I was just so tired. I was over it. I'm like, I'm just want to put it in and go to sleep. That's it. So she was really helpful with me packing as well. That was pretty much how I prepared for the mystery getaway. And so when we actually got to the Atlanta airport, I was traveling pretty much all day. And so we basically had to pull out a piece of paper from an envelope. And I was with my roommate, not my roommate from college, but my roommate for this trip. And other people were there with their roommates. And so they pulled out the piece of paper and we had to try to order the letters so that they would form a word. Now, if it was me, I would have took really long because, of course, like I said before, I am horrible at guessing things. But they got it really quickly. I would say probably in the first 30 seconds, and we found out we were going to Egypt. They just spelled out Egypt, and we were really excited. We're like, what? Egypt? Wow. And so then after that, that was when our travel advisor gave us this packet, which was our itinerary. So it told us the exact locations that we were going to, the timing. So we could now see a full picture of things that we were doing. We had descriptions of the different activities, and we just got to see nice pictures. And so the itinerary was beautiful, and I felt so much better knowing exactly what we were doing. So I could plan my time ahead, plan my outfits for what specific day. We still received the information in advance. So that was really good. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed my experience. I definitely recommend Notiq Agency, and I'll link them in the show notes as well. If you have any special occasions coming up and you want to celebrate, I would definitely say go with them. They're really good. If you want a really nice, luxurious, relaxing experience, it was one of a kind. It was so special. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Warrior Rulebook podcast. Hopefully I can share some more travel experiences with you.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the Warrior Rulebook podcast. If you like what you heard, Share it with a friend and join me over at the Warrior Rulebook Podcast Insider Group on Facebook. And don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for more tips on how to be resilient in this world.